Hello folks, this is Mike, PC31 the Vinyl Policeman, and this is my late entry, apologies Steve, into Steve All the World's a Stage's contest for the 3 Bob Dylan covers. And I actually had this prepared very early on, and I made some really good picks, got them all ready, did a little bit of research and had all my little things ready. And just before I was about to do the video, I looked at Brian's Embryonic Robots, and he virtually had mine down to a T, which was a PJ Harvey one, a Nick Cave one. The other one was different. But no surprise really, because Brian's got very similar taste to me. But I had to obviously go back to the drawing board, and a few days have drifted away since then. So anyway, I've got 3 really good ones, I think, Bob Dylan covers. Before I do that, just very quickly, just wanted to do a very quick shout out to 2 members of the VC, excellent members of the VC who need more subs, deserve a lot more subs. The first one, I had VCLT, I haven't done it for that reason, but I just wanted to show that quickly. Nick at Nick's Vinyl Butty. Nick's not been too well recently. He's getting back to it now, but he's still off work at the moment. And we all send him our best wishes, because he's a fantastic guy. In fact, if you're feeling down, folks, Nick posted a video just a day or 2 ago, and it was a response to Vinyl Dow and his 20 questions for the VC. I'll put a link below, and Nick did his response to that, and it's absolutely hysterical. I mean, I was literally belly laughing. It's just so funny. I mean, Nick's in rant move, but it's really, really good. Nick's got about 240 subs at the moment. Deserves an awful lot more, because he's got such a brilliant personality, so entertaining, great knowledge. So again, I'll put a link below. But Nick's has sent me a couple of packages of VCLT this year, and one which came the other day, which was really, really kind. He sent me a picture disc of Gary Newman, and it's got it's a remix of Cars, and on the other side, B side, is Our Friends Electric, both remixes. And I haven't got many picture discs actually, so this is a nice addition to the collection, and it's a numbered variant as well. So that's great. Thanks a lot, Nick. I really appreciate it. He also sent me a copy of Mojo from a few years back, from 2017. But the reason he did that was because there's a fantastic interview in here with Ray Davis, Arise Sir Ray Davis, and it's a really great interview into Conk Studio, where they record a lot of their later material, etc. There's also an interview with Jimmy Lee of Slade, who's also another one of my favourites. So that was really thoughtful of him. So I do appreciate that, Nick. Thank you very much indeed. So check out Nick's video. It's hysterical. Second one I just wanted to mention quickly is Mike Vinyl Spiral. Now, Mike Vinyl Spiral, he again, really entertaining videos, very knowledgeable guy, introduces me to a lot of new bands, especially European bands that I haven't heard of, French bands, etc., which I haven't heard of. And he finds some really interesting things, and he describes them really well. Always very, very entertaining. Mike's on about 114 subs at the moment, and just like Nick, really deserves a lot more entertainment value. Superb. So again, I'll put a link below on that. Steve's contest, All the World's a Stage. 3 questions. I think it closes tomorrow, so as I say, I'm very late off the mark with this one. And it relates to Steve's dear mum, who passed away, as mine has as well. And Steve's mum shares a birthday with Bob Dylan, and so it's a celebration in that respect for Steve. He wanted to show something about our mum's connection with us musically, just some kind of, amusing or anecdotal sort of connection. My one, which I apologise, I have shown before, but this is just one of my favourite ones. I showed it about a year ago, I think. But when 1977, obviously it was 1977, I was still very, very young teenager, and a classic new album came out, and I was ill. And I was kind of in bed at home, and my mum said to me she was going to the local department store, Co-op, and she said, is there anything you want me to pick you up? So I said, yeah, there is actually. So she said, well, write it down for me so I won't remember. So I wrote down the name of the album, but on one particular word, I just put asterisks, and I said, right, can you get this for us then, Mum? And so she went off down the shop, and she came back and had a go at me because that was the album I asked her to pick up, and I asterisked out bollocks. So when this was handed across to her in the Co-op department store, she had a fantastic sense of humour, so she saw the funny side, but she came back and give my she she had some words, put it that way. But yeah, never mind the bollocks Sex Pistols. So that was brought home by my dear mum who passed away a couple of years ago, 89. Okay, so my 3 Bob Dylan covers. So my first one is from Bob Dylan's third album, Times They Are A-Changin' from 1964, and it's the Ballad of Hollis Brown, and it's on Nazareth's Loud and Proud, their 4th album from 1973, and it's a cracking rendition. Actually, it's a really good cover, very Nazareth, as you can imagine. I mean, the immense voice of Dan McCaffrey, some great guitar work from Manny Charlton. But this is the album with This Flight Tonight, Joni Mitchell's This Flight Tonight. But yeah, so the Ballad of Hollis Brown. This album was produced by Roger Glover as well, of Deep Purple. So second one I'm going to show you is from The Boss, and it's an EP, CD EP. I think this is only on EP. I'm not too sure. I've never seen this on vinyl, but I've had this one for a long, long time. And it's Dylan's Chimes of Freedom. That was on Another Side of Bob Dylan from 1964, his 4th album. And it was the 4th track on the album, actually. Well, this particular one is from 1988 from Bruce. And he was on tour, and he was in Sweden at the time. And a particular show was going out on Stockholm radio. So again, a great link up to Steve and his mum, actually, the Swedish connection. But this went out on Stockholm radio, and it was during the show, about halfway through, and to say again, going out live on radio, that Bruce announced that there was going to be a tour later on that year, 1988, Amnesty International Human Rights Tour with Sting and Peter Gabriel, Tracy Chapman, etc. And then to kind of to celebrate that, he then went into Bob Dylan's Chimes of Freedom. There's the 4 tracks on the EP. The other ones I think were recorded in LA on a different leg of the tour. But yeah, Chimes of Freedom from Another Side of Bob Dylan. And the final one is the Man in Me, which is from New Morning, which is not a Dylan album I'm aware of, actually, from 1970, Dylan's 11th album, 10th track on that album. And Rolling Stone magazine puts this particular track at 84 out of 100, actually. But I hadn't heard it before until I heard the Clash do it. And it's on the Vanilla tapes. And these tapes are really interesting, actually, because they were the rehearsal tapes for London Calling back in the summer of 1979. And the Clash were kind of going through a bit of a funny stage at that time. They'd split up with their manager, Bernie Rhodes. They lost their rehearsal space. So they went into this X-Factory, which was being set up as an auto plant. So I think it was a Pimlico, and it was on the River Thames. So they were kind of out of the main hub-up of London, and they were able to write and do rehearsal tapes. What they did was they recorded a lot of music, all the music, on cassettes, on a 4-track cassette recorder, TIAC, I believe it was. And they did a whole host of tracks. This is great, actually. This is the 25th anniversary edition of London Calling. And what you've got on this is a remastered main album. Then the second disc is what they call the Vanilla tapes, because the building was called Vanilla. And then the third disc is a DVD, The Last Testament, the Making of London Calling. This is a superb. If you haven't got this, folks, and you're interested in the Clash, this is a good one to get. As you go through it, I mean, there's loads of tracks there which change name. Things like, The Police Walked In for Jazz, as Jimmy Jazz. Paul's tune, Guns of Brixton, whole host of things. But anyway, the 15th track on the Vanilla tapes on this particular one is The Man in Me. Bob Dylan, as I say, from New Morning, Dylan's 11th album from 1970. So that's the 3 tracks. great contest, and I think that's being drawn tomorrow. Okay, speak again, folks.